Expedition Everest and the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind are some of the most critically acclaimed Disney roller coasters ever built. But which one is truly better? Today I will be putting up the coasters at the One Coaster Parks in Walt Disney World Resort up against each other. I want to emphasize that this will not be a spoiler-free review, so if you want to ride these rides without spoilers, click off the video now and go ride them. Alright, I assume everybody watching has now ridden the ride or doesn't care about spoilers, so let's get into it. Expedition Everest and Cosmic Rewind both don't pull amazing forces, but I think this one has to go to Expedition Everest. It has some pretty good laterals on some parts, and it is one of the more intense Disney coasters. Cosmic Rewind wins this. Cosmic Rewind is significantly faster and much better paced than Expedition Everest. From the first launch to the brake run, it feels like you're flying through the layout, while in Everest you have multiple stops and stalls. Both of these rides have prominent backward sections, and this one has to go to Cosmic Rewind. Despite Everest having a longer backward section, is only actually a double helix, while Cosmic Rewind has this insane 60-mile-per-hour launch here, which is among the best launches I've ever experienced. While the backward section on Everest isn't actually all that great in my opinion, and definitely not the highlight of the ride. This one was the hardest to say on this list. On one hand, Guardians has an insanely good use of theming, especially for such a speed machine. But on the other hand, Everest has one of the most intense and amazing atmospheres of any roller coaster. From going up the lift hill, seeing the Yeti claw marks, then seeing the broken track before going backwards, seeing the shadow of the Yeti ripping up the track before going down the biggest drop of the ride, and of course the moment you go face to face with the Yeti not so animatronic. So I decided to, potentially controversially, give this one to Everest. Both of these rides have very interesting and unique queues or pre-shows. Everest has a very unique queue with the Himalayan village you walk through and the Yeti Museum that allows for some amazing story building before you board the ride. But Guardians has to win this one. From the awesome queue line before you enter to probably one of my favorite pre-shows of all time. It's unique, and the first time I was teleported onto the ship was quite possibly the first time a Disney attraction has truly stumped me on how it was done since Rise of the Resistance. So I'm giving this one to Cosmic Rewind. Both of these coasters have an outward appearance. While the outside of Cosmic Rewind looks cool, obviously the roller coaster with the giant 200-foot mounted facade wins this. Everest is quite possibly one of the most recognizable parts of the Animal Kingdom skyline, and among the most recognizable parts of the Walt Disney World Resort. Obviously this is because Everest is much older and iconic, while Guardians is a very new ride. Sorry Guardians, Everest takes this point. While Everest has some unique elements, there's no ride I can really compare to the insanity of Guardians. From the launch, to the spinning, to the visuals, it truly is a unique roller coaster. The only thing I think might be similar to it is a Mack Extreme Spinner, because they can launch and invert. I'm pretty sure they would not be very similar to Guardians. So I'm of course giving this to Guardians, which wins it for Guardians. Despite this battle being way closer than I originally expected it to be, this was definitely a very fun video to make. I'm glad I could get it out in time for my weekly deadline. Make sure to subscribe and like so I can continue making all of this content for you guys. Thank you.